We are here with the 1980 308 Ferrari GTSi, and let's take a look at it.
It's a 39,000 mile true barn find. It's been sitting for 10 years. Basically all I did was change the fuel system, you know, fuel pump, fuel filters, the CSI injection, rebuilt all that stuff, and I just tapped the key and the thing fired right up. Just like it fired new. So everything works on it, aerial works on it. You know, it's cool as it's all manual. You know, the aerial or the antenna is manual up and down. You can put it halfway up or whatever. And really, to be honest with you, I leave it down 90% of the time because it works fine. Of course, I live in the city, but
yeah.
But yeah, everything's there. The tire's a little bit old, but I mean, they're new, but they're just old. In the last 10 years, it had about 2 miles put on it. So, and that was just rolling it off a freaking tow truck and back off. So.
Yeah, so this car had sat in a garage for, hadn't started in probably 10 years, and then it sat in a storage facility for a little bit.
Yeah, I had to put a new fuel sender in it. You know, it was, you know, a little jacked up, so now the fuel gauge works. It still has original paint on it, which isn't perfect, but
yeah, so
to be honest with you, I'd rather have original paint and little blims in it than some Mako job. So
it's a survivor car. So this is a lacquer paint job, and lacquer is a pretty fragile finish.
Yeah, I was talking to a paint guy the other day, and he says lacquer really never dries.
Okay.
And that's why you can just polish the hell out of it, but that's also why it cracks a little bit. So the car's mostly steel. We were looking at it earlier, and it has, you know, fiberglass floor pans in it, but it's all tubular. So the body has no structure. So if you took the fenders and everything off this car, it'd be like a go-kart, but it'd be the same structure. So you take the top off, the top probably weighs 10 pounds. Weather strip's super nice on it. If you look at the headliner, had a headliner put in it.
Oh man, they did a great job on that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
I changed all the fluids in it, you know, new coolant, new oil. Of course it holds 12 quarts of oil. And the GTSi's are actually a wet sump. So the GTSBs are a dry sump, which requires a lot more maintenance than the GTSi. So the GTS, you can actually do a clutch without pulling the motor out. You can do the belts without pulling the motor out, timing belt. And like I was showing you earlier, that, you know, the AC compressor is opposed to the engine. So it actually turns opposite of what the engine does. So. I don't know if you can see it through the windshield, but you can see it where it has that yellow tag there.
Oh,
The VIN number's tagged to the steering column. So this car is tagged everywhere as far as VIN numbered. I suppose they do that because the cars are probably pretty easy to steal, and so it's got VIN numbers on everything. But you know, like over here, it's got tags in the back. It's got a tag here for the hatch or the boot. It's got,
and those would be replaced if it hadn't been crashed or something.
Yeah, and then it's got,
or they wouldn't be there.
You got the VIN number there, and you can see the AC compressor is this right here, which is, you know, a normal car, it's opposite.
Yeah.
And then it obviously had the intake polished and the valve press polished.
Yeah.
And a couple chrome pieces.
The 308 is 3-liter, 8 cylinders, and the I for GTSi means it's fuel injected.
You know, all the guys pull their headlights up and down.
Oh, wow, okay.
You know, when they're leaving car shows, so.
Yeah.
But.
Having the original wheels is probably a big deal too. I love that flare on that fender, that is cool.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking about putting wheels on it, but I think I'll let the next guy do it.
Oh yeah, I love those original wheels.
Yeah.
Just so iconic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's Magnum PI. You know, I go to get gas in the thing, and it's like a car show. By the time I'm done, there's 20 people standing around it. I'm super happy with it. Wipers work. I mean, everything works. You know, a lot of these cars, they rust out back in there. You know, and this car is just it's a zero rust car. You know, I've been all over the thing and haven't found a spot of it, so.
That's impressive and very important, because would be make it a money pit.
Yeah.
This car you could just buy and drive.
That's a clock on the top.
Okay.
That's oil temperature on the bottom. This is oil pressure here. This is your water temperature. This is your fuel gauge. And then there's 3 warning lights. There's a warm-up light. Because this thing, it takes, you know, it holds so much oil and so much coolant, it takes forever to warm up. So it takes about 8 to 10 minutes for the cold start valve to quit running. So it's just got basically a little tiny Bosch injector, electronic injector that just runs off the distributor till it runs.
And it's got a warning for your seatbelt.
If you got your hazard here,
Oh, okay.
which works. You got your wiper speed. You got low and high, but your wipers are on this steering stalk.
Okay.
And then here's your, this is your defrost. Up and down, left and right. And this is your heat. Up. Yeah, so it's got dual either side. So
Wow. What's this?
it's
Oh,
your
it's-
defrost.
oh.
Yeah, on or off.
Rear defrost?
Front. Your rear defrost is this button here.
Oh, wow. It is like a
Everything's manual.
Radio Shack put together.
Yeah.
Is it electric antenna?
Yeah, you can run the antenna up and down, man. Those are your window switches. This is your AC control.
AC lower speed.
Yeah. So your AC blows out of these and your defrost blows out of those.
So what's the, this is the air box here?
Yeah, so it's got a vane meter that runs underneath here. And it looks like almost looks like a CD. It's about the size of a CD. And basically the more air it wants, this vane meter goes up and down.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's just
Wow.
like a newer fuel injected, electronic fuel injected. Mazda used it for years and GM used it as well. So it's a vane meter, but on the electronic ones, they use a potentiometer. These actually are mechanical, so it runs up to the CSI pump. But the air intake runs through the cove on the driver's side, or passenger side, I'm sorry. So most of your noise comes out of here. So, and the carburetor cars make a little bit more noise out of the intake.
Okay.
But this car would literally, it sat for a week and I just reached in, hit the key, didn't even get in the car. Hit the key, it fired right up and started. It runs on a cold start injector. Once
Okay.
that shut off, it was ready to go. So it's got a light on the dash. It shows, you know, when it's ready to go basically. But, you know, as much coolant as this car has in it, in oil, it's almost like a diesel. It takes so long to warm up. Like it takes 10 minutes for it to warm up. Just because it's got 12 quarts of oil in it, it's probably got, I don't even know how much coolant. It's at least 6 or 7 gallons of coolant in it. You know, because your radiator looks like a big block Chevelle radiator. And it's all,
Okay.
you know, it's so small, but
And plus it has to travel,
yeah,
it's got long.
8 feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
so. And then you still got an expansion tank in the back that holds, you know, a gallon.
What does the other cove on the other side? Is it
Uh,
even the
oil
air
cooler.
box? Oh, oil cooler. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it runs all the other coolers. So the oil cooler, and then it's got brake coolers, and then it also has muffler coolers. And in the front also has some brake coolers. So, I mean, for 1980, it was the deal. If you watch a Corvette and watch the headlights go up and down, these are synced. I mean, they're perfect. I mean, they go. I mean, they're.
And the Corvette's like one side comes
Yeah,
up
and the other one kind of limps up, and
Nothing elegant about that.
no.
There's not a bad angle on this car. We were talking about this rear window. It's
Yeah, there's not a straight piece on it. It's curved all the way around, and